All right, fellow babies. So we have E3 week. We have the Nintendo non-press event, and I say that because it's not really an event. It's actually just a Nintendo Direct. It's just kind of like those things that happen randomly every once in a while on a Wednesday morning when you got nothing better to do. And it's even gotten to the point, I remember the first one, there was like something like 900,000 people simultaneously watching it, and people were blogging about every word. And then the second one had like 200,000, the third one had like 150 folks, and maybe the last one had 4 guys. I think I knew 3 of them. So, you know, there's just nothing really exciting at these things. So Nintendo's gonna have one E3 week. I'm sure people are gonna watch it. They'll probably talk about how great Mario Kart 8 is doing, because it will have been out for 10 days by then, or 12 days or something. But other than that, I think Mario Kart 8 is probably going to sell 1.5 million Wii U's, which is pretty cool. And the game will probably sell, 5 million units, which is pretty cool, because that's about 90% penetration of the Wii U audience. But you Nintendo fans have proven time and again that you don't vote with your wallets, that you guys have big mouths and you love to post on the internets about how everybody should love Nintendo and you can't be bashing Nintendo because they're the bestest, but you don't vote with your wallets. So I actually think everybody who ever posts a positive comment about Nintendo should be required to post the serial number on their Wii U as part of their post, because my guess is half the guys who talk about how great Nintendo are don't have a Wii U. And if you don't vote with your wallet, then you shouldn't get a vote. That's what I think. Anyway, I think we're gonna get Mr. Iwata talking about how great Mario Kart's doing. I think he's gonna talk about Super Smash Brothers. He's gonna talk about, who knows, a new Zelda game, a new Mario game, a new Pokemon, a new Kirby, a new Yoshi, a new, God, there's so many characters in the Mario world. I can't believe how many. When you think about the content that company has, it's frickin' phenomenal, and you wonder why you gotta play it on the Wii U. So he'll talk about that. He'll talk about the 3DS and how, even though it's selling half as many units as the DS peak sales, it's still really good. And it is, I gotta say, it is really good. Nintendo is just not the same company they used to be. I don't see them really announcing anything earth-shattering. It's probably not gonna be very exciting for you Nintendo fans. I don't think we're gonna get anything that's really meaningful before Christmas, and it doesn't really matter, because if it comes out, it's a Wii U title and you don't have a Wii U. So it really doesn't make any difference. Anyway, it's a press event, but not a press event because it's online. The Nintendo event is a tournament. Is it? I can't remember what it is. Smash Brothers? What is it? Yeah, but the old Smash Brothers.
It's a new one.
Oh, the new one? Oh, when did the new one come out?
It's not coming out until winter.
But they're playing the game?
Yeah, they're playing it. Yeah.
It's a playable tournament, but
a game that we can't play until winter.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's really strange. Is that really true?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought it was the old Smash Brothers because there's not a new game.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's the new one?
I'm positive.
Man, am I online doing this? This is cool. We
no, we're cutting this
Finger, you should run this shit. No, you should run this shit because this is cool. So, the one thing Nintendo is doing that should garner some interest is they have a Super Smash Brothers tournament. And, I think that real Nintendo fans who want to see Smash Brothers in action, that's cool. I mean, I get that. I don't know if the new game is going to be playable by fans inside the arena. I doubt it. I think it's only playable by the contestants. So that is Nintendo's sole bright spot. I will say, I have one regret about E3, that, how the E3 of now is not as good as the E3 of past. We used to have these competing parties from the 3 console manufacturers, and hands down, Nintendo won every year. Nintendo would get like the Black Eyed Peas. They had Sheryl Crow like 10 years ago when she was cool. They had Maroon 5 like their first year. So they had these bands who were like real bands, and I would actually be at the frickin' party. I would walk up to Adam Levine while he was singing, and I had my flip phone because this is like 2002, and I would call my wife from inside the party, and I'd go, "Here, listen to this," and she'd go, "Oh, are they playing Maroon 5?" And I go, "No, that is Maroon 5, and I'm standing like two feet from Adam Levine." That was pretty cool, and Nintendo doesn't do parties anymore. And the other thing about the Nintendo party that was so cool, I went to check in one year. So I go up and I go, I'm Michael Pachter. And they go, no, you're not. And I go, yeah, I am. They said, no, Michael Pachter's already in the party. And I pull out my ID and they go, okay, so you really are him, but somebody used your ticket so you can't get in. So it took me a while to get in, and I found the bastard who said he was me. So I'm giving you guys a little tip, okay? If you want to get into any E3 event, just walk up early and say you're Michael Pachter, and the morons who check people in will probably let you in. So you can get into any E3 event by telling people you're Michael Pachter. At least I'm certain you can get into Nintendo events because they don't check ID. All right, so that's my good story for the day for E3. And that's my predictions on Nintendo for E3. I'll be back tomorrow with some more assumptions/predictions. Thanks for joining us. So I do have one follow-up Nintendo story. So I went to, this is pretty funny. So I went to the Nintendo party one year, and this was the year after I was, denied entry because someone used my name. And I'm with Charles Wong and Kai Wong, who were the co-founders of Red Octane. Red Octane was the inventor of Guitar Hero. They weren't the developer, but they were the company that published Guitar Hero. They sold their company to Activision for like $150 million or something, and they're very wealthy guys, super good dudes. But as you might guess from a guy named Wong, they're Chinese. And I believe Charles was born in Taiwan and Kai was born in the US, but they're Chinese Americans. They are definitely Asian looking dudes. So they were hanging out with me and they wanted to go to the Nintendo party, but they weren't invited and they didn't have tickets. So I went with those two guys and an investor named Scott Kolar. Scott and I were registered and those guys weren't. So I quickly thought up other investors that I knew of who had registered for the Nintendo party who ended up not coming to E3. And I actually remember one name, I don't remember the other, but one name was some white bread name, like Kyle Bossman. And the other guy was this, another American, but Arabic name, Rami Abdelmissi. And I knew that, let's just say Kyle Bossman and Rami Abdelmissi weren't there. So I walk up with these two Chinese dudes and I'm like, yes, this is Kyle Bossman and that's Rami Abdelmissi. And of course, Nintendo check-in, here you go, here's your wristband. So that's a legendary part. So again, I gave you advice before, I'm gonna give it to you again. If you go up and you say you're Michael Pachter and they say, oh, he's already checked in, then say you're Rami Abdelmissi and that will get you in. Thanks for joining us, fellow babies. I forgot about that story. It's a good one, huh? It is, it's legend. It's like these guys are like, we were cracking up inside. And then once we're inside, and here's the John Finger moment. Once we're inside, so up walks Ray Musica, and we're just sitting there like talking to Ray Musica, who had not met the Wongs, and they're like he's talking to them about how much he likes Guitar Hero, and it's like, that's what I love about E3, You got the guy who creates Mass Effect talking to the guys who made Guitar Hero, and the Mass Effect guy's like, I love Guitar Hero, It's just so cool. So it is, it's really fun.